And those are the same people that cheered that on. They're cheering this on. And here's the president now endorsing who I believe and I called this years ago, I said Logan Paul, but it'll be Jake. But I imagine that is what will come next. That is the inevitable next move here is this.
Got us. Trump's got us. God bless. Love you, Kentucky.
Now, he's a great guy. He's a courageous guy and a talented guy. He's a hell of a fighter, too, by the way. And I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction.
Look at the people. Can you just pause this for a minute and look at the people that are still in this crowd? Look at the people. And I feel bad for some of them, but I really don't for others. Look at the people that are left in this crowd. I mean, none of them look happy anymore, by the way. This is the end because they're all broke, by the way. Their standard of living hasn't gone up. It's declined. None of them understand what the hell's going on.
Guys, thanks so much for joining me. John Soto, SotoCast. The great Tim Dillon, breaking it down. We apparently have a boomer in the White House and maybe causing us some issues. I'm not one to really go into panic mode or flip-flop or anything like that, but he makes some great points here. He makes some fantastic points. Give a listen to what he breaks down here, and then, just like always, we're going to talk about it. Guys, thank you for all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. If you're here, please hit the subscribe button. It does me a ton of good, and I really appreciate it all. Thank you guys very much.
Their standard of living hasn't gone up. It's declined. None of them understand what the hell's going on. They just know that they're in too deep. They're just in too deep to get out. And that's the face of people that are in too deep. That's not the face of people that are having a great time. That's not the face of people that are really excited about the direction of the country. This is the face of people that kind of got bamboozled, and they're still showing up to the rally, and then he's bringing out Jake Paul. And they're going, what's going on? Let's listen to a little bit of this here.
Prediction that you will be, in the not-too-distant future, running for political office, okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement, okay?
So they clap. The people in Kentucky clap in a very defeated way when Trump says about Jake Paul, he goes, you're going to be running for political office. And then some of the people in Kentucky start clapping, and they're happy about that. Let me ask you a question. I like Jake Paul. I have no problem with Jake Paul. Actually, I enjoy him. Why would the people in Kentucky who are clapping for this think Jake Paul would make a good political figure? I'm just asking a very simple question that I'm unsure if I know the answer to. Why do the people in Kentucky think Jake Paul, who, by the way, has left America? Jake Paul, I mean, he lives in Puerto Rico. He's left the continental United States. He lives in a territory of the U.S. to pay no taxes, which, again, God bless. But the people in Kentucky, it's so puzzling me when Trump goes, I want to hear that again. Bring it back again that you're gonna run for political office.
I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not-too-distant future, running for political office, okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement, okay? Yeah, that's what we want. He's an incredible guy.
It's a mixed reaction. You know, there are people that are clapping for it, and I question their sanity. Again, I don't know why they think he would be a good political figure. I don't know. But this is very interesting because the people behind him now, a lot of them are really not, it's not exciting anymore. It's not fun. This is, you've been at a party too long. You know, I have friends that have been at the party too long here with him. And the thing about Trump's entire thing is the party's never about you. It's his party. And, you know, when you first get there, it's fun. It's like hanging out with a rich kid, where in the beginning it's really fun because they're excited to show you everything and let you use some of their toys. But then eventually the rich kid's like, well, this is all mine. So when are your parents picking you up? Like, you know, that's where we're at now in the MAGA cult movement. You still have the 5D chess QAnon people who are permanently schizophrenic. There's nothing to be done for them. You have people like I know, friends of mine who like live in Florida and are just completely out of it and truly are kind of moral. Again, a black hole. You know, they just don't care what he does. They just like him and they don't really, they're not paying attention. They're not paying close attention. And, you know, and then you have, you know, some of these people that are standing here behind him, you can really tell by their face that they have been at the party for too long, and it's not fun. You know, a lot of these people go back and work at a rest stop after this, and I'm not saying anything negative about people that work at a rest stop, but make no mistake, a lot of them will go back and work at a rest stop in Kentucky. It's not a fun job per se, right? So they're here to celebrate him and Jake Paul and all these people. And then they will leave this rally and they will go to their house and they will change into their work clothes and they will work the graveyard shift at a rest stop. And they will tell their friend at the rest stop that they saw Trump. They went to the rally. And their friend will be like, yeah, what'd he say? And they'll be like, yeah, he's not that funny anymore. Like, Jake Paul was there. You know, this is what it's becoming.
And you can kind of say this and kind of picture this and envision this on, this is definitely on both sides of the political aisle. Obviously, because Trump has gotten, I think, more slings and arrows than the average person, politician, political figure in a long, long time. The pushback creates people just digging in their heels, and I mean, as someone who had a lot of support for him, and I still do have good support, good amount of support for him, but I don't like what he's doing right now. I don't know how he's going to pivot out of it, and I don't know how he's going to pull this plane up and get out of the death spiral that he is in right now. And that's the thing, is that you have your hardliners that doesn't matter what anyone does, what anyone says, they're with you, they're going to be with you, and they're going to see you through the entire way. That's with everything. That's with sports. It's with politicians, with relationships. You know, there are just some people that they're going to stick to something until they're dead. And the problem with that is that it doesn't allow that entity, whatever that may be, to change, to pivot, to self-correct when they're doing something not right, not great. And that's kind of where we are right now. We're in that point where it seems like Trump has been sitting there watching a shitload of Fox News. I mean, he just did this ridiculous post about Mark Levin. And, you know, I've listened to Mark Levin. He's not somebody that I would go to for like foreign conflict advice, because I understand where Mark Levin lies in that. And if you don't, then you know you're just not being realistic. You know, obviously he would do almost anything to solidify, you know, Israel and to help them do the things that they need to do for their self-interest. And I think a lot of those things do not align up with American self-interest. That doesn't mean that Mark Levin on the Constitution doesn't know what he's talking about. That doesn't mean that Mark Levin on you know, like judicial court rulings or, you know, a lot of legal things doesn't know what he's talking about. No, that just means that when it comes to his opinion on geopolitics, that is something that I would not take his opinion that strongly. That's all. You can be an extremely intelligent person, but your things don't align. Your view doesn't align with what my view is. So I'm going to disregard that portion of it at the very least. But it is a tough time right now for Trump, for his followers, and not sure how he's going to get out of this death spiral.
You know, it's becoming people that are just I don't know. I don't know what any of them are getting out of it. I don't know what any of these people are getting out of it anymore. They elected this guy, and then this guy is basically letting Jared Kushner and Bibi Netanyahu just carve out the Middle East, do whatever the hell they want, just make deals, and it's tough because I know it's really, really hard to admit you got God. It's really difficult to admit that. Almost no one can admit. It's very hard to admit you've been taken advantage of by someone that you respected, by someone that you liked and respected, this is actually a very difficult thing to do. It's easy to say you got scammed by some stranger, but someone that you trusted, respected, liked, and a lot of these people here, you know, in the back of their head, they can't admit it to themselves yet, but they feel like they've been taken advantage of. This is not about them anymore. It's dawned on them. They go, this is not really about us. This is about a lot of other things, but it's not about us. It's not about us. Now I want you to get up in the bunkers in Israel, the dancing. I want you to compare a group of people who aren't getting what they want with a group of people who are getting what they want, and the difference between the way that they react to it. In Israel, obviously, there is a war between the United States, Iran, and Israel. Big Paul, he's going to run, and then they're just like, I guess we have to support that. And the joy is draining from their face in Kentucky because it's not about them, and they know that. But let's go to somewhere else, and let's see if they're having a good time here. Now, this is the vibe when things...
You can't see what that says because it's kind of tiny. It says it's in Tel Aviv. It's like a missile bunker or whatever. So just for you guys to know what he's referring to right here.
Are good. Do you see the difference? When things are good, when things are good, you have a rave and a missile silo. That's when things are good. Because let's give credit where credit is due. Israel's got us into this pretty much. Again, that's from our own Secretary of State. And they're getting what they want. They're getting what they want. So why not throw a party? Nobody's throwing a rave in Kentucky. Nobody's throwing a party standing there behind Donald Trump and Jake Paul. Nobody's doing that because they're not getting anything out of it. They're not getting a goddamn thing out of it. So many people I know are using Nutrafol.
Such great points, man. I mean, really, like he just hits it on the head a lot. And I know he's definitely a little more progressive. You know, he's not, you know, he is definitely not the guy I'm going to go to for many, many things. But his analysis is always, it's always interesting. It's always very insightful. He definitely always broadens my mind into the area that I'm thinking about. And whatever it's issue I'm tackling with or thinking about, I always go to him as some sort of point of reference. Not because I know exactly where he's going to lie. I pretty much know exactly, relatively, where he's going to lie. Right? He's a very Joe Rogan-ish type. He's not a conservative, not a libertarian. He's a progressive-minded, somewhat common sense kind of guy. And it helps. It helps to understand his point of view, to get his point of view, to listen to him think things out, thinking things through the way he does, because he's just so good at it. He's so articulate. He's precise, and he comes to it with an angle usually that I haven't yet seen. And let me just finish off. Just listen to him a little bit here in the end, guys. If you're still, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Listen to him a little bit here in the end. He's going to get into something that I just think it's pretty awesome.
Off site wide, folks. You're going to love it. Now, the lying that you have to do to tell people in this country that they are getting something out of this war, the hurdles you have to jump through are some of the craziest things that I have ever seen in my life. When I watch people, I totally understand why Israel wants it, why Netanyahu wants it. I totally understand that. I get why Jared Kushner wants it. I get why people in the United States, like Ted Cruz, want it. But the people in Kentucky, I mean, that are going to the Trump rally, the people in Kentucky who are going to the Trump rally, like these people right here, to sell to these people that they're getting something out of this. It is the only that religious angle of like the third temple and the rapture and all that stuff, the Christian Zionism. You have to go to these people and go, well, don't you want the Messiah to come back? You don't have to go to the rest stop. If the Messiah comes back, you don't have to go to work. So this is that. This is what we're doing. Go, oh, I thought we were like I thought our taxes, I thought like the cost of groceries is going to go down. No, we're ending the world. We realized we couldn't do any of that. Let's be honest. You think your groceries are going to... The price of a house is never coming down. We're ending the world. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's zero way you're ever going to afford a house. Let's rapture you all. Let's rapture you all. It is the only shot you have at a good life right now is to hasten the rapture. That is, right now, the foreign and economic policy of our country currently right now is the rapture. That is the foreign and economic policy of our country is the rapture. You're out of here. We're all going. The Messiah is coming back, and he's going to figure it out because we don't know how to get these houses cheaper. We don't know. We do not know. We do not know. When the Messiah gets here, he'll figure it out, and he'll rapture some of you, and some of you won't get raptured. We don't know. It depends on what book, what interpretation. But what we do know is if we don't have the rapture, Jake Paul's going to be president. So what do you want? You want the rapture, or you want Jake Paul to be the president? I don't. Or does Jake Paul bring on the rapture? That's another great question. Does Jake Paul bring on the rapture? Here's Pete Hegseth, who is a drunk and a failure, making a big mess of this war, killing children in Iran, a truly contemptible figure who should resign, war criminal Pete Hegseth, friend of the show. But he really should resign. They are massacring children in Iran. It is disgusting. But Pete Hegseth is a... U.S. troops were told Iran wars for Armageddon and the return of Jesus. So this is what we've got. We've got some real fun people here that are trying to egg on World War III. I fully believe this is the plan. I think they want World War III. I believe they want World War III. I think the Epstein documents, it started to expose things that could not see the light of day. I think this economy is in much deeper trouble than people think. And I think that this is the plan. The plan is like we need some kind of prolonged conflict to sink a bunch of people, money, and sadly lives and things like that. Let's take a break from this for a minute because I do want to cover these Dubai influencers' life of love.
He gets into Dubai influencers, which is actually it's pretty funny. It's just a bunch of rich people in a hotel. It's a rich lady, and she's like crying about her experience in Dubai currently with a couple of bombs flying overhead. He breaks it down so well, and just kind of gets you to understand it on like a granular level. You know what is going on in his world, his point of view, his perspective. He is essentially saying that everything's going wrong. The middle class is being destroyed. The lower middle class is really being destroyed. And how are we going to fix it? Not by going to Iran. That's for damn sure. And it's a very hard thing to cope with. It's a hard thing to kind of, again, because just kind of like he said, you kind of wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. You want to still, in my view, I still think that there have been so many times when people have brought the shroud of doubt over me, and the administration has usually pulled out all right. The Trump administration has usually came out and actually done something relatively well, comparatively speaking to what a lot of people were saying that was going to happen. However, in this scenario, this is a tough one. We are weeks into this thing. It doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. And it just gives you the air of 15 days to flatten the curve. And that is just, I mean, it's something that nightmares are made of. The amount of, the amount that I lost during that time, the amount that I have a ton of friends that they have never recovered from those shutdowns. And it's you look at the shutdowns, then you do the contrast to weapons of mass destruction, endless wars, boots on the ground. I mean, your mind just starts racing and it just goes into all these places that are just where you don't want to be. And hopefully we're never there. again in this particular time. Hopefully, I mean, again, I don't have all the information. Most people don't have all the information. And even Trump doesn't have all the information. And the information that he does have could be skewed, and that's the problem. I was listening to a couple of podcasts today, and that was one of their selling points was, well, we don't have all the information. Maybe we would say just cut your losses and get out of there, but we don't have all the information. Well, how the hell do we know the information that he has is any good also? We can make that assumption. But how do we know that what's being fed to Trump isn't also dog shit to some extent or somewhat propagandized? I'm sure people would love to propagandize the president of the United States. So it's tough, man. Don't really know how this is going to go. If you want to follow me on X, 6283talk is my X account. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Watch Tim Dillon because he's awesome. I'm John Soto. See you in the next video, guys. Take care.